Hey everyone, it's Miranda. Welcome back to my channel. If you're new here, hey, for the first time, why don't you subscribe and become the newest member of the Slashed Squad. Here I review products you won't feel guilty buying and do looks you can actually recreate at home. Today I'm going to be delving deeper into a product that I've mentioned here on my YouTube channel as well as my blog a few times because it is a staple in my beauty collection. It worked its way into my routine several years ago and it has not left since. It's a life changer and I'm talking about the WetBrush. The WetBrush completely changed my hair routine as soon as I started using it all those years ago. It's something that I can't go back from. Now, I've mentioned before, I have very thick hair. I have a lot of it and it's naturally wavy. Obviously, I have it styled today, but you have seen my hair in its natural state and it's hard to brush, especially when it does get tangled. It can be so hard to detangle with just a typical hairbrush, especially when it's wet. Now, I know there are a lot of opinions about brushing wet hair, but here's the thing. As someone with a lot of thick hair, I can't just not brush my hair when I get out of the shower because as it dries, it just becomes more tangled if I don't do anything with it, and then I'm left with just a mat of hair. But that all changed once I started using the WetBrush. Now, WetBrush is sponsoring this video, thank you, but in case you want to suss me out because everyone is suspicious of sponsored videos nowadays, the first time I posted about the WetBrush and raved about it on my blog was in 2014 after I bought one for myself. I've mentioned the WetBrush several times here on my YouTube channel over the years, so if you have to brush your hair like me right out of the shower, please use the WetBrush. And of course, last but not least, the one hair item, holy grail. I would bring this on a deserted island any day of the week, the WetBrush. So when I finally picked up a WetBrush, it was like the clouds parted and I enjoyed brushing my hair after the shower because it felt so nice. And ever since my first, I have purchased multiple wet brushes for myself. In fact, I've got a few of these laying around my house right now that I purchased myself. Let's go find them. WetBrush. This one's stained purple because I usually use this one since it's black for when I'm coloring my hair. And here is my WetBrush in the master bathroom. So yeah, I have been a genuine fan of this brand and product for 4 going on 5 years now, so just in case that was a question. So today I want to share my entire WetBrush collection with you because as you can see there are different styles here and I use them in my routine a little bit differently. Hit the thumbs up button if you've ever struggled with detangling your hair while it's wet and stay tuned to see my entire WetBrush collection. The first version of the WetBrush that I want to talk about is, of course, the original Detangler. This is where it all started. This tool revolutionized brushing my wet hair. Now, brushing wet hair is actually something that I was always told not to do because hair is at its most elastic when it is wet. It is most prone to breakage. But when you have a tool like this one, you get less breakage, less damage because you don't have to put in as much effort. Before the WetBrush, it would take me about 30 to 45 minutes to brush out my hair after a shower. That is ridiculous. I started to just wash my hair a lot less because I didn't want to deal with it. I did not have the mental capacity to go through that. But that's what it took for me to take a normal brush and like try to gently work out the knots. It was just way too time consuming and it still hurt. So the first time I used the WetBrush, I had my hair pretty long. I had just washed it. It was pretty tangled up. It took like 5 minutes and I was like, amazing. Now, one of the things that drew me to the WetBrush when it first came out was the fact that it looked like a normal hairbrush. At the time, there were a lot of detangling brushes that were coming out that were handheld, so it was kind of like there was no handle, and then the bristles were just like pointy and short and sharp looking, and I tried those, but one, the bristles were too short to get through my thick hair, so it was already taking as long as using like a normal brush, so that defeated the purpose, and it was just like uncomfortable to hold without a handle, especially in back where my hair was really tangled and it just wasn't ergonomic. So the fact that this looked and felt like a normal hairbrush just made it easier for me to use, and the bristles were long enough to get through all of my hair and I didn't have to work in such small sections. And that contributed to cutting down the brushing time after a shower. With the other detanglers, I was like spending the same amount of time because it was so small. Okay, so some deets on the WetBrush and how it works. The secret to the WetBrush is the exclusive ultra soft IntelliFlex bristles that glide through tangles with ease. As you can see, they bend really easily, but they still hold onto your hair, so they're not just gonna go through and rip your hair, they're really going to gently detangle and work through the knot. So not only do these bristles minimize pain because they're gently working through through knots instead of just ripping through your hair, but they also protect against breakage and split ends. And last but definitely not least, because this was the first thing that I noticed when I started using this brush, is that you don't need as much force to get through your hair. So that again protects against damage. The official numbers is 45% less damage and 56% less effort, which makes a 100% happy Miranda. So as you saw around my house, the original is definitely my go-to style. I use it after every shower, but I also use it dry. Just because it's called the wet brush doesn't mean you only have to use it wet. It's also a great just everyday brush. Now I do want to show you what detangling my wet hair with the original detangler looks like. So here I am fresh out of the shower. My hair is wet and it is relatively tangled. It mostly gets tangled in the back because that's where my hair is the thickest. So here you'll see me start running the brush through my hair. I like to start at my ends and work my way up. That's just something that I've learned from my stylist. But yeah, the process is super easy and I'm not even gonna cut here. I'm just gonna show you the real time of me detangling my hair. So enjoy. So this is basically a smaller version of the original detangler, all the same features, the IntelliFlex bristles, but obviously it is a smaller size. So not only is it great for kids, but it's great for traveling. You can throw this in your purse if you are gonna be styling your hair midday. Maybe you're going from the office to a date night or school to an activity. After school sports, this is awesome. But I also just like using this for travel if I'm only traveling with a carry-on bag and space is super limited. This is a great alternative. Even though it is on the smaller side, it does do the job. Obviously, it'll take a little bit longer on my long hair because we don't have as much surface area, but in a pinch, it gets the job done. So the next version of the wet brush probably is like my second favorite, just under the original, and that's the Shine Enhancer. So this is the newer version. They used to have one called the Shine Brush that looked a lot like the original. This is the new look, and you get a lot of the same characteristics. You have the IntelliFlex bristles. It's gonna minimize pain and breakage and split ends, but on this one, you do get boar bristles that surround each IntelliFlex bristle. So as you can see, the IntelliFlex bristles come out just a little farther than a row of boar bristles, and what they do is evenly distribute natural oils throughout your hair, which leaves it shiny and smooth. As someone who doesn't wash their hair every day, this has become a key part in maintaining the look of my hair and making sure that I don't look oily on top while the rest of my hair looks fine. It helps distribute that oil from the root all the way down to the tip, so not only am I breaking up that buildup at the scalp, but I'm also using that oil to moisturize the rest of my hair all the way to my ends. This brush is also perfect for dry shampoo. It does such a great job at breaking up the area that you sprayed and really distributing the product. And that way you're not left with just like those patches that feel a little bit more texturized than everywhere else. So yeah, because I'm often trying to style second, third, and sometimes fourth day hair, this is definitely my second favorite. Next up is the Wet Brush Paddle Detangler, and this is what I use for blow drying my hair. Now I don't blow dry my hair too often. It's not part of my normal beauty routine, but it is something that I like to do when I need to shower, but then also style my hair the same day as opposed to just letting it air dry. But this wet brush is specifically designed for blow drying your hair. So this one has heat flex bristles that are heat resistant, but it also has an aquavent design on the back that allows for fast drainage and easy cleanup, so water and other hair products aren't going to gunk up the brush. And clearly it is larger than the original detangler. It has 20% more surface area, so you can really get through more of your hair in one stroke. And all these characteristics also make this brush really great for conditioning treatments. If you do a deep conditioner and you want to brush it through your hair, not only are you able to really get it through more of your hair quickly, but the vented design lets you clean the brush a lot easier and you're not going to get that buildup. I actually do deep conditioning treatments more often than I blow dry my hair, so that's been a great use for this brush. And instead of just, you know, running your fingers through your hair and it's not really an even coverage, this distributes it a little better. And I love that because of the vented design, this is gonna last longer than any other brush I would use for the same purpose because I am able to clean it more thoroughly. So that's my entire wet brush collection. I freaking love these things. They have completely changed my hair game. Not only is it easier to detangle my hair, but my hair is healthier because I'm not ripping normal brushes through it all the time. So I'm very honored that WetBrush wanted to sponsor this video because, like I said, I've been a genuine fan for several years now. Have you tried the WetBrush, and if so, which version did you try and what was your experience with it? Leave it in the comments below. If you haven't already, please hit that subscribe button, become the newest member of the Slashed Squad. If you've done that, high five, but have you hit the bell icon so you know every time a new video goes live? If you don't turn on video notifications, then YouTube decides what's on your subscription page and not you. I'll see you in my next video. Bye!